What's up, guys? This is day number 1 of the 30-day motherfucking vlog challenge. Obviously, I'm freaking pumped. And this is because it's kind of intimidating. I'm about to do 30 days of vlogging my life and sharing an interesting tidbit or some kind of value to you guys for 30 days straight. And if I miss a day, I want you guys to lay it on me. Tell me that I messed up. Because I'm trying to stay as consistent as possible. So the whole entire goal of doing this is really one thing. I want to spread one important message every single day on this vlog. And as you guys know, I'm all about empowering yourself, living a fulfilled, amazing life, building an amazing body, doing all of that awesome shiznit. And that's what I want to do every single day, is spread that message with you guys. So if you're into improving your life, if you're into making shite amazing, if you're into living your best life possible, hit the subscribe button right now. If you're not about that, if you don't want to live a good life, out of here. Let's make today amazing. It's currently 10:34 a.m. and I'm gonna take you guys along real shortly to go hit chest and shoulders, and I'm gonna show you guys how the hell we do that and how we make some serious gains in the gym so you guys can do the exact same thing. Let's make today awesome. That's the Sumner Healey staple oatmeal for breakfast. 4 whole eggs, 3 egg whites, 7 eggs total. That's like my go-to bulking breakfast right there, people. Since I'm about to go to the gym in like 1 hour, I like to have a pretty high sodium meal. What I'll do is I'll put a healthy serving of some like pink Himalayan salt or sea salt or whatever you have laying around. Get a nice salty meal in you, and I like to do this when I'm off season, when you're not trying to look a certain way and you're not worried about getting bloated. Have a nice sodium rich meal. You'll notice an incredible difference in your pump. So I recommend having a nice salty meal before you go to the gym. You'll be blown away by the pump you get.
I work at Nike. That would.
Do you think you have a friend, or you know you have a friend?
Well, my friend's sister.
Sister.
This is Jesse. Jesse hasn't been introduced yet.
What's up, guys?
That was good.
You in the gym?
Oh yeah.
The fuck is happening? Let's go! It's 12 o'clock!
Hey!
Let's go! Pre-workout apple turnover.
That's the only thing I regret for not going to college. I was rushing at like 24. I want to buy from that one.
We just pulled up. I'm gonna take you guys along for a push workout. We're hitting shoulders, we're hitting chest. What I'm gonna do is commentate over this push workout and explain to you guys why we're doing certain movements to engage different muscle fibers within each area of our body. This is gonna be really important for a lot of you guys, so I want you guys to listen up. Stay tuned, I'll see you guys in there. Alright guys, let's get into this workout. So I go through phases where I like to become very proficient at a certain movement. Currently for me, that's been the incline barbell bench press. That has been my staple, and that's really what I'm progressing on currently. But before I ever get into my actual working sets, first I do a very thorough static warm up of my shoulders, where I'm gonna work on my rotator cuff. I'm just gonna do a few movements that are gonna help warm up my shoulders, but my main warm up is actually gonna take place on whatever movement I'm starting with first. So say for example, we're starting off with this incline barbell bench. That means I'm gonna do about 5 to 6 warm-up sets of a lighter weight. So as you guys see here, I'm just repping out the bar. I did that for about 2 to 3 sets. Then I followed up with a 25-pound plate on each side and a 45-pound plate on each side. And then from there, I'll either do my reverse pyramid sets, where I'm gonna start with my heaviest weight and work my way back down, or sometimes I'll take a traditional pyramid approach, but today what we were doing was the reverse pyramid. So before we dive into this workout, what I need to explain to you guys is exactly how I'm doing my program currently. And this is the stuff that really counts if you're looking to build the most amount of muscle possible. So I'm on a 2-week split currently, and this is how it breaks down for me. I'm doing 4 training days of heavy upper body, heavy lower body, medium upper body, and then medium lower body. And that following week, I'm doing heavy upper body, heavy lower body, light upper body, and light lower body. This is undulating periodization, which has been so critical to my training, and I'm not gonna go too in detail on this video about what that is, but just so you guys know, today's my medium upper body day. So for our medium workout days, we're gonna be in that 6 to 10 rep range, usually going off anywhere from 65 to 70 to maybe 85% of our 1 rep max is what we're gonna be hitting. And so today I was incline benching 185. After that, I like to do 1 volume intensive set. So after hitting those 4 to 5 sets of 185, I'm dropping down, I'm doing 135, and I'm gonna really focus on that contraction, squeezing my upper chest, and getting some volume in. After finishing that up, we're moving on to what's like this kind of funky little bench setup. I don't know if every gym has it. I've talked about it in some of my other videos. I freaking love this thing. If you guys do have it, definitely recommend going after it. If you don't have it, just use dumbbells or use a barbell bench and you'll be able to replicate the same thing. What I'm doing here is I'm doing 3 sets of what's pretty difficult weight for me. I'm hitting about 4 to 6 reps of 2 plates and a 25 on each side. Don't really know what that really factors out on this whole machine. What we're doing from here though is we're hitting these sets, and then on our second set, we're instantly dropping down and doing some drop sets. So we're dropping down to 2 plates, and then after that, we're dropping down to 1 plate. And so what we're really focusing on here is getting a nice balance of that strength and also putting some volume in the chest. Because what we know about the chest, dominantly a fast twitch muscle. Usually it's about 60% of type 2 muscle fibers in most people. And that means it's gonna respond very, very well to doing some heavy compound movements, usually in the lower rep ranges. So I wanna be very certain that I'm getting that weight in there and I'm actually triggering my chest in a way that benefits it. And then from there, I'm also getting in some drop sets. The reason I'm doing these drop sets, these back off sets, is really because the science says this is the greatest way to build our muscles. And let me explain to you guys what the research says. So in 2004, Goto et al. Published a paper that examined back off sets. And what they found was that a group doing 5 sets of 5 reps with 90% of their 1 rep max, and another that did the same exact workout program but added 1 high rep set with 50% of their 1 rep max at the end of the workout, saw significantly greater improvements in both hypertrophy and strength. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where this is coming from. It might be from the increased volume, it might be from getting more blood in their muscle. We don't really know where this is caused from, but what we can clearly see from this data is that doing a back off set or a drop set when you're doing these heavier sets is gonna give you that edge. From there, we're moving on to the plate loaded chest press machine. I personally love this machine just because the squeeze that I get in my chest is pretty much incomparable to anything else that I found in the gym. Nothing too fancy here. Working again, just a good old chest 8 to 12 rep range for this, getting a little more volume in and really focusing on that contraction. And then on our last 2 sets, we are utilizing the back off set principle. So at this point in the workout, we're starting to hit areas of failure, and that's totally okay. I don't advise going gung-ho and going to failure in the beginning, but once you're about 2/3 of the way, maybe 3/4 of the way into your workout, you can start getting to failure on your reps and really using that as a way to progressively overload your muscle. And this is where things get interesting. So after doing that, we move on to this fly variation. And so this is my thinking behind it. Most people do flies with an external rotation. What that means is that their elbows are to the ground. What we're doing is an internal rotation, which means our elbows are actually parallel to the ground like this. And the reason that we're doing this is because having an internal rotation, while it is gonna engage a lot of our front reason we're doing this internal rotation is because the chest is biomechanically more efficient, which makes it stronger when you have that internal rotation. So we're actually doing relatively heavy flies, and the reason we're able to do this is because we're internally rotating and flaring our elbows up, and it's really gonna contract your chest in a nice way. On the flip side of it, you can externally rotate, which means that your elbow is gonna be pointing towards the ground, and this is fantastic. You're actually gonna reduce how much of your front delt that you're putting into the movement, but the problem with this is you're just not nearly as strong, and so I like throwing both of these in. I never see guys at the gym doing any of this internal rotation work, and there's a lot of different ways you can take advantage of having an internal rotation. You could even do it on a bench if you really flare your elbows out and do what's called a guillotine press, where you bring the bar to your neck. The problem with that is it causes a ton of shoulder pain for most people, and myself included. Doing it with the cables has been the best way that I've found to really contract my chest, limit how much stress I'm putting on my shoulders, and move some good weight. So if you guys have not tried this, you absolutely need to be throwing this into your routine. After that, we're moving on to shoulder flies. There's this shoulder fly machine that again is kind of proprietary. I think it's special to my gym, but I'm doing that bent over, and I have a much shorter range of motion on this, and you really have to be careful. You do not want to raise the bar too high because you will hurt your rotator cuff. But this one is nice, it just changes it up. I'm doing lightweight again, I'm hitting that 12 rep range. And after that, I move on to cable flies behind the back. We're really targeting our rear delt and our lateral delt. And this one I did 6 sets of 12 to 15. I like to go a little bit higher just because I feel it a lot more in my delt when I go with a little more volume. After that, we moved on to rear delts, and I highly recommend that people do rear delts on their push days, because a lot of times you're bringing your shoulders in and you're pulling them in during that workout to really help improve your posture. If you do a lot of benching, you see a lot of guys, they get that hunched over look. And so I like incorporating rear delts on my push days as well as my pulling days. I also think this is a muscle that does not get enough attention, and it's a place that I'm really trying to build on my body. What up, family? Back from the gym, and if you guys have been following me for a while, you know my post-workout nutrition looks like. It's pretty much the same meal every single day, twice a day. But for you guys that are new, I'm gonna show you what I'm munching on. We got 1.5 cups of rice. I only eat this rice. You guys get it at Costco. It is so good. It's a little bit expensive, but it's totally worth the money. I got that in there. I have about 5 to 6 ounces of chicken with some peppers on it, and a whole lot of spinach. I like doing just fresh, uncooked spinach and just throwing it in there. And this is seriously, guys, what I eat like twice a day, sometimes even 3 times a day. Love it.